Sunday night, and a view you haven't seen yet. This one's out my dining room window. I live in a corner suite, so I have two different views. This one is of the North Shore Mountains and the Lionsgate Bridge. If you can see that little arch of lights, that's the Lionsgate Bridge heading into North Vancouver over there. So yeah, just a little bit of a different view for you guys at my dining room window. Hope I don't drop the camera because it's a long way down, and there's the one you always see. Anyway, Sunday night, and I was asked more than one question in that mysterious anonymous email that I was sent, that I answered earlier, and it really made me start thinking about the question, even though I hadn't really given the question ever much thought before. So as the day went on, I thought more and more about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to touch on it today. I don't know why exactly. It just seems like today's the day to bleed in front of you guys and show you all my innards, all my guts. So this is actually a hard thing to admit in public as well, but I was asked. The person asked me, said that they knew that I motivate myself, but who inspires me? Who inspires me? That's a tough one because it's not really what you guys would think it would be, like a person that excels or has done really well. It's actually quite the opposite. It's people who haven't done well, and people who aren't excelling, and people who are failing that inspire me. At the risk of alienating all you guys, I'll admit that my weight loss and my fitness is inspired by the people I see on the seawall when I'm running, and I run past them, and they're very, very overweight, and they're struggling to walk, and they're breathing like they just ran a marathon, and I feel really bad for those people, and it scares me that I could potentially become one of those people, and it pushes me on to go the next day and the next day, because I'm afraid of dropping dead of some kind of horrible disease or a heart attack or obesity or the things brought on by obesity, or bad diet. One of the things that inspires me to eat properly is watching people dropping dead around me of horrible diseases that I'm now beginning to really believe that a lot of those diseases are brought on by what we consume and our environment around us. And even babies who are getting diseases I know I'm not a doctor or a health professional of any kind yet, but I mean, they gestated inside another body, and did that body take good care of them or not? You know what I mean? Did that mother smoke? Did that father have a history of drugs? Did that mother eat a lot of deep fried food? Whatever. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of disease and stuff that's not anybody's fault. It's environmentally brought on or genetically brought on, maybe. But anyway, that's what inspires me, is if I'm standing near somebody who smokes and they're hacking up a lung. I haven't told this to you guys yet, but I used to smoke. I smoked a lot when I was back in the 80s, back in my weird days. I used to take 3 packs of cigarettes with me to the bar for the night, and the bars closed at 2 o'clock in the morning in this city. So I'm not like I was out for very long, but I would light one off the end of another and just smoke all night. And it was allowed you were allowed to smoke inside buildings at that time, no longer allowed now. But so I quit smoking in '89, and I'm kind of one of those militant ex-smokers. I try to be patient around smokers, but deep inside I don't have patience for smokers. I quit. If I can quit, anyone can quit. But anyway, so smokers inspire me to not smoke, because listening to them coughing up a lung and being afraid that they're actually just going to drop dead right there of something, cancer, emphysema, whatever, that inspires me. So I apologize to anybody I may have offended by saying that the large, really, really quite overweight people inspire me to stay slim. But I was asked that question, and it's the truth. So I thought I should share that with you guys. I think when a long time ago, before I was slim, but I was still smoking, and I was smoking, and I hadn't really gotten into the fitness thing yet. But what inspired me to start the fitness thing, this is what inspired me to start the fitness thing. I had just moved into the city of Vancouver from out in the burbs, just about an hour away, and I had a new job, and there was this guy that worked at this job, and he was super fit, and it made me crazy to watch him running around like he was driving in a car. That's how easy it seemed to me to him. And one time we were out at the beach, we were having a picnic, and our friends drove by and didn't see us, and he's like, oh, there they go, oh my God, they're going to go way down, they're never going to find us. And he took off after their car on foot running and caught them. And then played football all afternoon, and I just sat there feeling horrible about myself because I can't even run across the street to catch a red light without just huffing and heaving and feeling like I'm going to die. So he was my main inspiration to quit smoking. He was the only person I told that I was quitting smoking, and I asked him to help me learn to run. And so we would go running after work, and we wouldn't tell anybody. And then a few months in, when I realized I was making a success of it, and I was actually starting to see muscles in my legs, I revealed to the rest of my world that I had quit smoking and that I was now going to start being a runner. And even though I've had gaps, I've always been a runner ever since. So that was in '89, and I still love it. And I'm actually quite excited about my next cardio day because it's endurance run has come up, and I love endurance runs. There's nothing to think about. I don't find them hard. I just get on my legs and I go for a run, or I go for a ride on my legs. That's what it feels like to me. And I'm on the seawall, so there's not like I don't have to wait for traffic to stop and red lights or anything like that. I can just go. And the next one's due on, what's today, Sunday, so Tuesday, so it's a weekday. So it'll be the middle of the day, and there won't be anybody in my way for the most part. So I'll just be able to turn my brain off and dive deep inside of myself and just go somewhere into outer space in my head and just run. It feels so good. I love it. I can't wait. And that's what I used to always do, but now I'm into this cardio cards thing, and I do different cardio every time, so I don't get to do an endurance run as often as I used to. Anyway, so one more thing that inspires me to try and keep my attitude in check is bitter people, unhappy, bitter people that are going to die alone. I don't want to be that person. I have the potential to be that person. I tend to get pretty frustrated with people. I have a very low tolerance level for the incompetent, particularly at retail level. I used to work retail. I think I just finished tweeting about that with a couple of people. I used to work retail level, and I was pretty good at what I did. And so now when I go through a checkout in a store and they don't know what they're doing and they're messing things up, and the computer's not working right, I'm just like, oh, come on, this is not rocket science. I've done this. It's not hard. And I am guilty of snapping at people if I'm having a bad day, and I always regret it. As soon as it's out of my mouth, I regret it. And I'm trying really hard to work on that. So when I see someone who's unhappy and bitter and older and obviously alone, I take inspiration from those people. I recently just went through a checkout line where the old man in front of me was giving the cashier a really hard time, and I actually spoke up in her defense because he was being a real jackass. And of course his response was, oh, you women have to stick together. Love it. Anyway, turned out the manager actually had to come over and rescue her because he was just unbelievably bitter and horrible little old man. And I'm sure he went home to eat his canned whatever and feed his cat. You know, I don't want to be that person. So he inspired me to be happier that day. So I hope this is okay. I feel like I've been a bit disjointed in my confession. I just want to take a look here what else I wanted to bring up. That's kind of it. Yeah, I'm afraid of disease. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of being alone when I'm old and bitter. I'm afraid of looking not really good too, I guess. You know, heavy people, a little bit shunned by society, I think. The truly obese are, that's for sure. So, you know, in my need for love and acceptance, I find inspiration by the people who don't get it in their lives. So anyway, I hope that's it, or I hope that's good. And that's it for Sunday, and I'm moving on to something more cheerful tomorrow, I hope. Have a great night. See you soon.